Just less than an hour ago, we got an official sneak peek for the next update, and I am super excited to talk about it. Miro dropped a photo in the official Blue Lock Rivals Discord, and we finally get to see what's coming next. In this sneak peek, you can clearly see what looks like an awakening move for one of the characters, but here's the twist. It could also be a new chemical reaction for both Sae and Shidou. I know, right? But wait, it doesn't end there. If you head over to the Common Questions tab in the Discord, one of the helpers posted a response to a question that said, "Will Sae and Shidou be a chem rework or a style rework?" And the answer? Style rework. That means the devs are reworking the movesets of Sae and Shidou, which makes me lean more toward the idea that this is actually one of Sae's awakening moves. But hey, this is just my take on it, and I want to know what you think. Is this a chemical reaction, or is it an awakening move? Before we dive into all of that and analyze the sneak peek, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and smash that like button. Seriously, it really helps get these videos out to more people, and it gives me even more motivation to keep making daily content for you all. Thank you so much for the support. Alright, now let's dive right in. So here's the deal. Some of you might be thinking that this sneak peek is showing a new chemical reaction between Sae and Shidou, and honestly, I totally get why you might think that. After all, chemical reactions are a pretty big deal in Blue Lock Rivals, and the Sae and Shidou duo is pretty iconic. But after looking into it and considering what the devs have said, I'm starting to lean more toward the idea that this is actually an awakening move for Sae. Now, don't get me wrong, chemical reactions are awesome and all, and I wouldn't be mad if it was one of those, but there are a couple of reasons why I think it's not. First off, with the current update focusing on chemical reactions, the devs made it clear that going forward, these reactions won't have any animations. Miro himself mentioned that the reason for this is that they wanted to make chemical reactions more accessible and frequent in the game, so they decided to make them just regular moves without the cutscenes. They even did a poll asking players what they thought about adding awakening chemical reactions with animations, but keeping the regular ones without animations. And you know what? That's a good move. They've been trying to avoid making the game feel too repetitive, which is why they chose to remove the animations. So, based on that, I'm thinking this sneak peek is probably not a chemical reaction. But hey, I'm still open to the idea that the devs could surprise us with one. I mean, Sae and Shidou are an epic duo, so it wouldn't be shocking if they decide to add a new chemical reaction between them. Still, I'm about 90% sure it's not a chemical reaction, and 10% sure that they just might surprise us with one. What do you think, though? Do you agree with me, or do you still think this is a chemical reaction? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's dive deeper into why I think this is Sae's awakening move. The sneak peek has some pretty clear visual cues that point to this being one of Sae's new awakening moves. First off, take a close look at the VFX. If you pay attention, you can see that the VFX are very clearly Sae's signature style. I get it. Shidou also has pink VFX, but there's something about the pose in the sneak peek that stands out. Sae's pose looks much more offensive, like he's about to take a shot or make a play, whereas Shidou looks like he's in a defensive position, almost like he's trying to stop Sae. So, just from the poses alone, it looks like the focus is on Sae. Now, just because Shidou's avatar is in the picture, doesn't necessarily mean that the move is his. The devs might have added Shidou's avatar just to remind us that he's also getting a rework, but that doesn't mean he's the one doing the move. In fact, I'm leaning more towards the idea that this is Sae's awakening move because of how his pose is highlighted and the way the visual effects play out. And what's the most likely move? I think it's going to be Beautiful Destruction, a 3-step dribbling move that Sae showcased in the manga. If you haven't seen it, it's an awesome dribbling move that's a great fit for his awakening. Some people have doubted whether Sae ever actually did this in the manga, but trust me, it's there. This move could work just like Nagi's 5 fake volleys, except it won't necessarily end in a shot. In the manga, Sae doesn't shoot after Beautiful Destruction, so it'll probably just be a dribbling sequence to throw off opponents. I'm honestly super excited to see Beautiful Destruction added to Sae's kit. It's going to add a whole new dimension to his gameplay. I'm hoping we'll see the full details for his move soon, probably on Friday or right before the update goes live. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Now let's move on to something even more exciting. Miro also gave us a huge hint today in the official Discord. He mentioned that there's going to be a hype train for Tuesday where they'll give away lucky spins, and sometimes they also drop hints for future updates. And here's the big one. Miro confirmed that next week we'll be getting something called Heart of PXG. If you've read the manga, you know exactly what that means. Charles is the heart of PXG, and this just confirms my theory that Charles is coming to the game. And if Charles is coming, he's most likely going to have a chemical reaction with Shidou. These two are basically the ultimate duo in the manga, and I can't wait to see how they bring that into the game. It's going to be fire. Now, about Charles' rarity, I'm pretty sure he'll be either world-class or mythic, but I'm leaning towards world-class. Still, it's totally possible the devs will make him mythic, considering how unique his playstyle is. We need more passers in the game, and right now, the only real options are Sae and Corona. So adding Charles could really shake up the game. Oh, and before we wrap things up, I almost forgot to mention something really important. Because of the sneak peek, or if you didn't see my last video, some of you might be thinking that only the Awakening moves are getting updated. But here's the thing, it's not just the Awakening moves that are being changed. The base movesets are getting completely revamped as well. So it's not just Sae's Awakening move that's being worked on, it's actually a full rework of both Sae's and Shidou's entire moveset from the ground up. Let me say something about Sae. As it stands right now, Sae is considered one of the strongest styles in the game. But after this update, I truly think he's going to be even better than he is now, without a doubt. After all, with the rework, they're not just adding some tweaks, they're changing the entire moveset, so we could see Sae really come into his own. I think he's going to be top tier after this, and personally, I would put Sae at the top of the rankings for the game. Now, let's talk about Shidou. I think after this rework, Shidou is going to return to the meta, just like he was when he first came out. If you guys remember, Shidou was one of the most wanted players at that time, and everyone wanted to get their hands on him. I think after the rework, he's going to be just as strong, if not stronger. And he'll definitely be a huge presence in the game once again. For all of you old Blue Lock Rivals players, I can already see people switching their avatars to Sae and Shidou, which kind of gives me this vibe that we're about to experience a return to the prime days of Blue Lock Rivals. It's going to feel like a nostalgic comeback, and I'm so excited for it. Alright guys, we've covered a lot today just by seeing one image. For example, we talked about the Sae and Shidou reworks, the potential Awakening moves for Sae, and even the upcoming Charles update that's about to shake things up. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Which rework are you more excited for, Sae's or Shidou's? I'm personally hyped for both, but I'm curious to see which one you guys think is going to be more impactful in the long run. Do you think this sneak peek is an Awakening move or a chemical reaction for Sae? And how about Charles? Do you think he's going to be a world-class or mythic style? I'm really curious to see what you all think, so make sure to drop a comment below and let me know your predictions. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're getting super close to 50,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you. Your support has been amazing, and it truly motivates me to keep putting out more videos for you all. I can't thank you enough for sticking with me, and I'm really excited to bring you even more content. Thanks for watching today, and I can't wait to see what happens with these updates. I'll be here covering everything, so stay tuned for more. Catch you in the next video, and until then, peace.